Welcome back to another episode of the Outsider Sports Baseball Podcast. Corey, Jason, Dylan, Mel, John, Pauline. It's prediction time, boys. Opening day this week. Yankees, Giants, 8 p.m. Eastern on Netflix to open it up on Wednesday. Baseball's back.
Yep, baseball is back. The prediction episode is here. You guys will have 3 fun predictions, and then, of course, the correct outcome will be from over here.
I'm sure we all have different people picked for every category, though, right? Nobody's going to double up. No taking the easy way outs.
All right, that feels a little shot at me because, you have my picks already. But
I'm just saying chalk is chalk.
Chalk is chalk, but correct is correct. And if you can get a guy who's won MVP 2 years in a row at plus money right now on FanDuel, maybe you take it.
I'm curious to find out who that's going to be. That could be one of 2 guys, and I don't think either one should be plus money.
One of them is, though.
But let's get into it real quick. We are going to have our playoff predictions. We get a full bracket. Full bracket. You ready for this?
Ooh.
Letters. It doesn't get a rolling banner. It is right in the middle of this. Because this is exactly how the playoffs are going to get broken down. So, John, do you want to start us off with your American League wild card round? What are your 2 matchups?
I got the Royals versus the Mariners, and I got the Red Sox versus the Blue Jays.
All right, and then between the Royals and Mariners.
What's the seeding there?
Oh, Royals 6, Mariners the 3 seed, Red Sox 5, Blue Jays 4.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
My bad.
In that 6 matchup, who the winner of that will face? Who was your 2 seed?
2 seed is the Yankees,
and the winner facing the Yankees will be
the Mariners.
So we got Yankees Mariners in the ALDS. Who comes out alive?
Of the ALDS versus the Mariners.
All right, so let's see who's going to meet the Mariners in the ALCS. We got, you said Boston, Toronto?
Yes.
Who faces the 1 seed? And who is that?
I have the Blue Jays facing the Tigers.
Jays, Tigers, 1 versus 4, right?
Yes.
Who faces Seattle?
The Tigers.
So Seattle
Tigers. The ALDS last year.
Yeah.
Mariners, Tigers. Who is going to represent the American League in the World Series?
The Tigers.
Tigers in the World Series.
Yes.
Any reasoning behind picking the Tigers to win the American League?
This guy's taking this Scooble thing way too far.
Wasn't the Orioles this year.
Wasn't Orioles this year.
No, not or I can't with their pitching. No. Any reasons for the tie? I don't know. I don't expect Cal Raleigh to be as good as he was last year, and he didn't seem like too well in the World Baseball Classic. But it's a long season, early season, but I just think the Tigers are going up. They have Framber Valdez now. We all know my thoughts on Scooble. If you watch our top 10 pitchers thing, I don't know. I just like the Tigers.
What made you choose the seeding? How'd you decide between the 4, 5, and 6 seeds?
The 4, 5, and 6. I think that's just how what happened. At least when we were doing the ranking and stuff, I think it just worked out that way where it would have happened. It just when we did the predictions, it just fell that way.
All right.
So,
you guys ready to hear Ben's?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. In the wild card round, Ben has 3-seeded Kansas City hosting 6-seeded Yankees. And then he has the Yankees moving on, facing the 2-seeded Mariners. So in the Yankees-Mariners matchup, he has Seattle going on to the ALCS. On the flip side, he has Boston the 5, Detroit the 4. Boston knocking out the Tigers and going to play the 1-seeded Blue Jays. And then Boston knocks off the Blue Jays, faces Seattle, and Boston is going to the World Series. Any comments on Ben's predictions?
I get it.
I mean, I picked
I
Boston
get the
last
respect for Boston's
Yeah.
pitching staff for sure. I don't want to give too much away because they're in my playoffs, but I get it.
Well, let's hear yours then, so we can get your full.
I have the 3-seeded Houston Astros versus the 6-seeded Toronto Blue Jays. I have the 4-seed Boston Red Sox versus the 5-seed Seattle Mariners. Which one do you want to hear first?
Let's go with the 3-6.
I have the 6-seed Toronto Blue Jays defeating the 3-seed Houston Astros, and then they will be facing the Blue Jays will be facing the 2-seeded Tigers, and I have the Blue Jays going to the ALCS.
Back to back.
Yep. I have the 5-seed Mariners defeating the 4-seed Boston Red Sox in the wild card. I think that their playoff experience is what really reigns supreme there. I think Boston losing Bregman, losing a veteran leader, hurts a lot in the postseason. A lot of inexperienced guys there. Then I have the 5-seed Mariners taking on the 1-seed Yankees. We all have Mariners Yankees in the ALDS. I'm the only person who predicted it correctly with the Yankees beating the Mariners, setting up an 1-seed Yankees versus 6-seed Blue Jays ALCS with a trip to the World Series on the line. And I went with the New York Yankees to return to the World Series just 2 years after they were there. I picked the Yankees to make it because I think full strength. They have the best pitching rotation in the American League. You know, Crochet and Skubal are better aces today than what I expect Garrett Cole to be, but with Fried, Rodon, Schlittler behind, I got more faith in that 4-man unit when healthy. And Bednar, Duvall, again, we talked about it in the preview, but I think the Yankees have some clear guys that they're going to trade at the deadline or before then in Dominguez and Luis Gil to add another high-level player to the lineup, whether that's Steven Kwan, like we've talked about, or somebody else. But it's just right there in front of them, that deal. So, yeah, Yankees fans will love that one. It's just right there in front of us. But that deal, a deal surrounding one of those guys feels too obvious. And I do think, you know, as much as Yankees fans, myself, Corey included, have BS'd about the team just kind of running it back, I do think there is something to continuity and there is something to keeping a team together and the team just growing together. I think guys like Wells and Ben Rice could take jumps this year. Chisholm could have a solid season. Bellinger was pretty consistent last year. The lineup produced the most runs in the regular season, got cold in the playoffs. Could happen again, but I'm going to say that they return to the form from 2 years ago and get to a World Series.
A lot of love for the Mariners going on right now.
I mean, I had them getting to the DS. I don't know if that's crazy.
I mean, just in general, so far, like I didn't even notice it until you said it. Between John, you, and Ben, everybody's had Yankees, Mariners in the ALDS.
Yep.
And from the way I have the brackets, it's been on both sides too. So it's not just giving one the 2-seed or it's both sides. They're coming together. So it's kind of funny.
Yep.
For me, I have the 3-seeded Tigers hosting the 6-seeded Royals. Then I have the Tigers winning that, facing the 2-seeded Red Sox, where the Tigers go on to the ALCS as a 3-seed. Well, you're not a big fan of the Tigers?
I'm just listening.
And then on the other side, I have the Yankees the 4 and Toronto the 5. Do I have it in me to predict a Yankees win?
Not a shot.
Seattle, the 1 seed, will be hosting the Yankees.
Wow.
In the ALDS.
Of course. 4 for 4.
I feel like if you were playing Houston, you would have picked Houston to win.
4 for 4 on Seattle Yankees ALDS is crazy.
And it seems like Seattle's winning that 3-1, where I have Seattle knocking off the Yankees.
So we have the same.
Only one person got that ALDS matchup correct. Remember what I said to you guys about 8 minutes ago as the podcast started?
But John, to mention your point, I would have had the Yankees beating the Astros because I need them to exercise the demons. They're not going to win a World Series until they knock off the Astros in the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. But I have Seattle, Detroit in the CS, and Seattle will be going to the World Series,
So all of us with a different AL rep.
which is very funny given how similar some of the things have been.
We had a lot of the same teams and same matchups,
That's a good thing
which is good.
that it's so wide open because can you really say the same for the National League?
I guess we'll find out if we could say the same.
John, let's hear it.
Okay, hold on. I gotta pull it up. Okay,
Pull.
I got the 6 seed Mets going against the 3 seed Cubs, and the 5 seed Phillies going against the 4 seed Padres. And then I have the 3 seed Cubs beating the Mets and facing the 2 seed Braves.
Is that a little bit of Mets hatred seeping through?
Little bit.
Let's hear he picks Cubs Braves. Let's see if it continues.
Little bit. And then I have the Braves beating the Cubs.
The hate isn't as strong.
It is strong. I also am kind of low on the Mets. I just don't think like their team as a whole. I mean, we got a lot. I mean, when we did that, the talk about the Mets for our like the previews, we got a lot. We got like some hate from
Yeah, because you guys don't know what you're talking about. Only I know how to assess the Mets properly.
I think they were talking about you too.
They would never.
No, but not. And then I have the 5 seed Phillies beating the 4 seed Padres. Yeah, I mean it. And then I have the Phillies facing the Dodgers, and I have the Dodgers winning.
So there's Braves.
Dodgers, Braves, and then I have the Dodgers winning.
Ooh,
Dodgers, Tigers, World Series. Sign me up.
that's what everybody wants to see. All right, let's hear Ben's. Ben has the 3-seeded Cincinnati Reds hosting the 6-seeded Cubs, where the Reds knock off the Cubbies and travel to Atlanta to play the 2 seed. And the magical run ends there where the Braves are going to the NLCS. Ben has the 5-seeded Phillies going to the 4-seeded Mets, where the Mets knock off the Phils to take on the 1-seeded Dodgers. Do the Mets knock off the Dodgers? Any predictions? Any guesses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Dodgers win.
Wow.
Wow.
Dodgers, Braves, NLDS. Where did we just hear that?
You mean NLCS?
NLCS.
NLCS.
And then the Braves knock off the Dodgers, and the Braves are going to the World Series.
So he's got Braves, Red Sox.
Dylan.
All right. I have the 3-seeded Braves taking on the 6-seeded Padres, and I have the 4-seeded Mets taking on the 5-seeded Phillies. I have the 3-seeded Braves defeating the 6-seeded Padres, and then going to take on the 2-seed Dodgers, where I have the Dodgers winning that matchup and going to the NLCS. On the flip side, I have the 4-seeded Mets defeating the 5-seeded Phillies. Sorry, John. And then I have the 4-seeded Mets staying hot and going to the 1-seeded Cubs and winning and going to the NLCS. Dodgers, Mets, must-see TV. The Dodgers back to the World Series. Dodgers, Yankees, a rematch of 2 years ago.
John, don't worry. The Phillies won't lose a single playoff game when I have control of the bracket.
That is true.
I mean, this year they should have Wheeler, Luzardo, and Sanchez, and Alvarado, and Duran all available. So hopefully different.
Should have had Alvarado last season.
Are we still
He
sure
could've.
Wheeler's going to be okay, though, with that issue? Like,
He's
don't worry.
He's slated to come back in 30 days after he has this rehab start. I think.
Yeah,
this
but
Sunday.
there's a
I think he looks
coming back
fine.
and coming back. But I got the 6-seeded Padres going to the 3-seeded Cubs. Padres knock off the Cubbies to face the divisional rival Dodgers in the NLDS, the 2-seed. And the Dodgers will be going to the NLCS. So all 4 of us have the Dodgers in the NLCS, and I feel like if you don't, you're doing it wrong. The Dodgers aren't going to be one and dones in the playoffs.
Some would say if you don't have the Dodgers in the World Series, you're doing it wrong.
Well, I have the 5-seeded Giants going to the 4-seeded Braves, or the Braves do win a playoff series to take on the 1-seeded Mets. And the Mets win, Mets-Dodgers. Where'd we hear that? But this time the Mets knock off the Dodgers, and the Mets are in the World Series.
So you have Mets Mariners.
Mariners.
So the only commonality across all of this was me and John both picked the Dodgers to go to the World Series.
That's pretty great, though, for having to pick, 4 American League, 4 National League with a full build.
I mean, last year me and John had the exact same World Series.
Yeah, and we both picked the Dodgers to win. So, I mean,
does it repeat this year? We'll find out. But now, do we have any final thoughts or, questions regarding our brackets? Or do we want to just acknowledge Ben having the Reds, win a playoff matchup?
I'm just shocked Ben didn't pick the Mets to win the World Series. I think it's the first time in the history of the podcast. And it's not a spoiler because they're not in his World Series.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yep.
But somebody had to do it, so I bit the bullet, even though I wrote mine first before I saw Ben's.
Yeah, I don't. All right.
All right. It's awards time. Let's start it off hot. AL MVP.
Are we going in the same order?
Yeah, let's go to the same order.
Aaron Judge. I feel like it's his to lose. Same thing with my National League pick.
Ben's with you there. Ben picked Judge.
Aaron Judge, plus 185 on FanDuel today.
I am going to run as soon as we're done recording and throw on that because I also have Judge going back to back to back.
We swept the board for Aaron Judge.
It's his to lose. I feel
like
you pick him until he loses. Like it's his to lose.
The only thing that gives me concern is voter fatigue, and that goes for both American League and National League.
Yeah, but if they put up the numbers they've been putting up.
But at some point, are they going to look for reasons to vote against them? Or even if they
feel like I feel like the media tried to give it a reason to last year with Raleigh with 60 homers as a catcher, and it just wasn't enough. The level that Aaron Judge is playing at, I mean, the man batted over 300 last year. Like, if you're going to have his power numbers and that average, nobody in the AL is going to touch you unless maybe J-Rod pushes 45 homers. Like, because of the stolen bases, like Judge won't have that. But like to me, unless Witt or J-Rod pushes 40 homers, it's just not going to be a conversation if Aaron Judge stays healthy.
Right. The only other person in baseball that could have kind of even approached that would be Soto, and now he's not even in the American League; he's in the National League.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's go NL MVP.
Shohei Ohtani. Like, I think it's his to lose. Like I said, Judge, it's the same. It's his to lose.
Ben's with you there. Ben has Ohtani.
I actually went Shohei Ohtani.
But I actually went Juan Soto. Gets his first MVP.
I mean, you have the Mets as the 1 seed. So I do think like something to be said for that. Like if Soto leads his team to a 1 seed, I know winning doesn't normally dictate these things, but you talked about looking for a reason to give somebody else an award. Right. I think then it could play a role.
Like, I think it needs to be another big market team that could do that. And
I mean, last year Soto was he 40-40?
I don't know. He might have. I don't think he was 40-40. I think he was 40-30.
40-30, which is like
that's if he pushes 40-40, the same way that I talked about the way, I mean, you know, I know that we've talked at length about Ohtani as a pitcher. It's not like he's an ace anymore. So the pitching, the advantage it once gave him where it was insurmountable. I don't think that's the case if Soto batted 290, 40, 40 and led his team to the 1 seed.
Yeah, I just think, kind of like you're saying with Soto, is if the Mets are going to be the 1 seed, he's going to have to be the one that carries them there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as much as Lindor kind of is the face and has been, it needs to be Soto. And a big market team needs to be the one that unseats a Judge or an Ohtani. And there's just not that big market in the American League. Like if Cal Raleigh was, a Yankee and Judge was an Angel, then I think Raleigh might have won because you have that big market media amplifying it. But because you had the better player in the bigger market, they didn't give them that chance. So if a Soto in a New York market can get that same amplification that an Ohtani does in LA, Soto could very well be the MVP.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Let's go American League Cy Young.
I put Tyreek Skubal.
Skubal. Back to back to back?
Back to back to back. Or
you have the three guys all going back to back to back. The MVPs and the AL.
I do. Or I put.
This is predictions.
or I put Brian Wu.
No. No, you have to commit to one.
Show. Who does the record show? Wu or Skubal?
Skubal.
Yeah.
I have to go. If I picked him to be the best pitcher in MLB or top 10, I have to back it up and pick him as the Cy Young.
Ben has Garrett Crochet winning the Cy Young.
Dylan also has Garrett Crochet winning the Cy Young because I think that these guys are just so close, and I think to three-peat, it has to be definitive. At least to me, to three-peat an award, it has to be definitive. And I thought Crochet pushed him last year. I think Crochet is going to push him this year.
Yeah, I don't have Crochet or Skubal.
Yeah,
shocker. I have Brian Wu. This is not as bad as Ryan Pepio, okay?
Yeah. Or your boy Hunter Green, can't pick him now.
Who says I can't? I make the rules.
He's hurt.
Yeah, I should go back and switch to Brian.
I think one year I had Reed Detmers as my Cy Young pick.
You did.
But this time I'm going Brian Wu.
That's who I was going to go with.
I think Wu is a good pick, a good value pick.
So the show went Crochet over School.
And let's see if the National League Cy Young has any back-to-back winners.
Paul Skeens.
You're going Paul Skeens?
Paul Skeens.
Not Sanchez? Not your boy?
No, but that's who Ben went. Christopher Sanchez.
I went Paul Skeens. Best pitcher alive.
Well, I chose the number one pitcher in all of baseball, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I thought Dylan was a Yamamoto guy, but apparently he's a Skeens guy.
I love Yamamoto. Skeens is different.
I think we saw.
Don't worry. Soon Skeens will be winning AL Cy Youngs on the Yankees, and then Yamamoto could start cleaning them up on the Dodgers.
I just think this year, especially if he gets more wins now that the Pirates kind of worked on their offense a bit, it's going to be hard for Sanchez to compete if Skeens puts up the same numbers.
Anybody to compete.
It's just.
I just think Yamamoto, we might have seen another level of him unlocked in the World Series. And if that carries over, he is going to be Skeens level good. Now for the most fun award, the Manager of the Year. Who do we have as the American League Manager of the Year?
I got Dan Wilson from the Mariners.
Yeah, we have the Mariners going far, so that makes sense. Yeah. Ben has Mark Kotsay of the A's. They don't have a home city yet, but they have a Manager of the Year.
I can't believe I did this, but I went Aaron Boone. I have the Yankees as the 1 seed.
So
they're in the best.
They're in the best. The 1 seed in 2024.
I don't. Were they? Were they 1? They were. I mean, but they had just gotten Soto. Like, I don't know, man.
Like,
Like,
you have 6 teams in the playoffs.
yeah.
You couldn't pick any 5 other manager.
He's never won one.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why.
Listen, I think being the 1 seed in winning
Do all the other
toughest
managers
division
die in the middle of the season?
and winning the toughest division, I mean, I just texted you in parentheses somehow.
Yes, I want to know why.
Because I think they're going to win a lot of games, and I think them running it back is going to be more in his favor because people aren't going to be able to say that it was the roster.
It's a world where Aaron Boone wins the American League Manager of the Year is a scary, scary place. Because think about what needs to happen.
I mean,
for Boone to start getting.
Do you not think that? Here's my thing. I think that they could have the best record in baseball.
I think their ceiling is best record in baseball. I think
so. I have them as the 1 seed reaching that ceiling.
But I mean, Boone has won over 100 games in a season multiple times.
Yeah,
but Boone also has Aaron Judge.
I think they finally reward him for it.
Like for what? Writing Aaron Judge in his scorecard. Like
I don't think any other team has an impressive enough of a season. The Toronto falls back. Toronto falls back. Boston doesn't take enough of a leap. Seattle, I have them as a 5 seed. They're falling back in mine. Detroit, I guess you could go with, but I don't know.
That's what I was looking for. Is nobody else is as impressive. So when all else fails, just give it to Boone. That would be the joke. Boone wins Manager of the Year. Yankees reward him with another extension.
I just think that nobody else will be quite as deserving based on my standings. I didn't think to go with non-playoff teams like Ben.
I mean, I went with Dan Wilson of Seattle because Seattle going to the World Series in my book.
But Manager of the Years before then, it's a regular season
yes,
thing.
But I have
I have them as a 5 seed. Why would I pick him? They were just a 2 last year.
Right.
Reward them for losing 3 seeds.
I mean, I have the Mariners as a 1 seed, so I get the thinking behind that. It's just I just feel like there's so much stink around Aaron Boone when it comes to this stuff.
There is today, but if he finishes the season with the best record in baseball, I think there'd be less stink.
I think I can guarantee that if the Yankees broke the win record this season, people will still find more things to complain about than compliment Boone.
Well,
tell me I'm wrong.
I think that's more of a fandom issue then.
True. But so I have Dan Wilson of Seattle winning the American League Manager of the Year. Let's go with National League Manager of the Year.
Craig Counsell of the Cubs.
How come?
Because I feel like the Cubs are going to fight. Like they're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to get the. They're going to win the National League Central. Get the 3rd seed. I think I think they're just going to do really well.
Who is your 1 seed?
Dodgers.
And your 2?
Braves. So,
any thought towards the Braves manager?
I was going back and forth on that.
That's who Ben took, by the way. He took Walt Weiss of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Now, he does have Atlanta in the World Series.
I have
Atlanta as the 2 seed.
I went Craig Counsell as well. I have the Cubs as the 1 seed. So I think winning, the NL that the Dodgers play in, that's good enough for me.
I had the same exact thinking, and that's why I went Carlos Mendoza of the Mets. You win the National League.
You just get that BS for Boone and follow it up with Carlos Mendoza.
Yes, but so what that he's a Boone disciple? So what that he learned everything about managing from Aaron Boone? The Mets are going to the World Series.
The Yankees were going to the World Series in my prediction.
Yes, but we saw that movie.
Yeah, and it was a Juan Soto movie and an Aaron Judge movie. This is now the Aarons.
The Aarons?
The Aarons.
All right. Let's go home. Let's go Rookie of the Year. American League Rookie of the Year.
I got Trey Savage.
Now, does his injury that he has right now give you any concern?
No, because I feel like in the past thing, I feel like the pitchers have been getting, I think, like more votes for Rookie of the Year. Like they're looking, I think, like pitchers are drawing more attention and stuff. And I was looking at the American League thing, and it's like I didn't really see. I mean,
There's not somebody that really feels like a runaway.
yeah.
Like
So
Schlittler, isn't a rookie this year. He ran over his innings and games played last year. So I feel like Schlittler could have been the guy that would have ran away with it over his Savage.
Yeah, especially without
Yeah.
the injury.
Ben also went you Savage.
Wow. I went Murakami. Going to be in a big market in Chicago. Going to be batting heart of the
I almost
order.
picked him too.
Big
That was
name.
Yeah, I went Chase DeLauder of the Guardians. He got a job starting opening day. I think there's just not much out there in the American League.
Well, there's
where it's-
McGonigal, I think, from Detroit.
Right, he's another one.
Yep.
I just think that the National League is much deeper with at least the surface level rookie pool,
Yep.
where it could be just about anybody's race in the American League. Although Savage, I think, is the betting favorite. I just think that injury concerns me, and he kind of pitched out of his mind in the playoffs, and I wonder how that carries over mentally the first bad start he has in the regular season.
Fair.
National League Rookie of the Year.
I wanted to pick Connor Griffin for this, but he got sent back down to AAA and isn't gonna be on the team. So I'm not sure how much playing time, if he does get brought back up, how much playing time he's gonna get. So I went JJ Weatherholt from the Cardinals. Because he's gonna be up and he's gonna play, I think, get a lot of playing time, which goes in his favor. But you also very well, I think, very well could be like Nolan McLean, too. But I like JJ Weatherholt more just because a lot of play time, offensive guy.
Not a bad idea. Weatherholt's a good pick. Ben took the homer route and went Nolan McLean, though. Mets
Yeah.
start.
I also went Nolan McLean. I think the path is just pretty clear. Like the way John talked about, pitchers get a lot of recognition for this award. He plays on the Mets. He's kind of going to be relied upon to be one of their better starting pitchers as well. Got experience in the WBC. He's like a name that people already know, too, in the media. So that's where I landed with McLean. I also obviously think he's good. That's why he was on the WBC roster. I feel like that should have started with that. But yeah, obviously I also think he's going to be good.
I want Connor Griffin. I don't think the send down is going to weigh too much because that's just service time manipulation. It has to be. The
You think
are not
you're not worried about like the play time?
I think once he
think-
comes up in June, everybody's going to forget about play time.
You're not worried he had a bad, not a great spring?
No, I mean, the Pirates need to get these young guys playing. And especially if the lockout's incoming, they're going to do everything they can to kind of look good in the face of the media and the fans so they can get some leverage in those negotiations with the players. So if that means playing some of these younger guys a year earlier than they would like, even with this service time manipulation, I think in the long run, that's better for them in their, skeevy ways. So when Connor Griffin's playing in June and has a great summer, I think that'll win him the award, and nobody's going to remember how late he came up. There was one year in the American League, it was the year Gary Sanchez came up. I think that was 2016. He came up in like July, and he almost beat out Michael Fulmer for AL Rookie of the Year. And that was a very weak award.
Mm.
So I can see a hot start from Griffin kind of propelling himself there, especially if McLean or Weatherholt or whoever, even Carson Benj, doesn't really take control of it. AL home run leader. Who wins and how many home runs do they hit?
Well, I feel like if he's going to win MVP, he's also going to be the home run leader. Aaron Judge with 51 home runs.
Wow, lightweight for Judge.
Yeah.
Ben has Pete Alonso hitting 57 in Baltimore.
The dude's a homer even when he's not being a homer. I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah, I'll be going with Aaron Judge. I'm gonna say 64.
Damn. 64. That's why you didn't text me beforehand. You're getting me to. You want to surprise me with it.
I didn't realize I was supposed to text you the number.
64. So he breaks the AL record again.
Yep.
Does he go? Does he go on a hot run in September? Is this something we're watching in July like last time?
So a few years ago, he obviously breaks the home run record. Last year, his average was off the charts. I just think this year he puts them both together.
I don't disagree.
I think his bat. I think he is better at making contact, and he improves upon that. I mean, we saw in the WBC, like a lot of his hits were home runs.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to say, but he had a very down year from a power perspective last year.
Yeah, only 53.
Well, what I'm saying is like he always has those spurts where he'll go on, 10 plus homer months, where he'll have, 2 weeks where he hits like
right. I just think like he gets hot at some point when the weather gets warmer.
Right.
And he didn't last year and he had 53.
I mean, I'm with you. I have him at 56 leading the American League. It is kind of funny how Judge has never had a season in the 40s for home runs.
Yeah, John's got him sniffing it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have him going full swing, though. Let's go National League. John, who do you have?
Well, as if it's going to be any surprise, Shohei Ohtani.
How many?
With 47.
Respectable.
47.
Down year for him.
Yeah, I'm going to say not quite breaking focus. Yeah, I feel like because he's going to be pitching this year too, full time and that. And I feel like, might, see a dip in offense there.
Ben has Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies hitting 51 home runs.
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
I went Juan Soto. I think the pop is there. I have him hitting 49.
Dylan and I finally get to agree. Just the two of us. I have Soto, but I have Soto going 51.
Yeah, I didn't have him quite breaking 50. If he had a 50-40 season, though, that's a great way to get MVP.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he becomes the second 50-50 guy behind Ohtani.
Well, I don't know about all them stolen bases.
I mean, it's only
Soto doesn't really steal bases. He didn't really steal bases
at that point.
I mean, he just did it out of nowhere last year.
Yeah, because I mean that's about a third of his career, like stolen bases was last year. Like before that, he
that's what NL Manager of the Year Carlos Mendoza does, right. Dude. He just unlocks.
AL Manager of the Year Aaron Boone was scared to run him. To be fair, Aaron Boone is scared to run anybody.
Yeah, Aaron Boone's scared to run Caballero.
He is. Like Caballero could be a 50 stolen base guy. If he gets on base 50 times, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But now it's time.
Playoff
World Series predictions. Are the World Series not part of the playoffs?
They are.
They are. John, you had the Dodgers and the Tigers in the World Series.
I do.
Who wins how many games? World Series MVP.
I didn't think of a World Series MVP.
Think of it now.
I'll think of it on the fly here. But I have the Dodgers winning it in 6.
Okay.
I think the Tigers can steal 2 games there. But I think ultimately the Dodgers win it. Because as of now, I feel like they are the best team. And it's basically, I don't know. I think it's like there's, to lose here. I think they can go on a bit of a run here. For MVP, oh, man.
So many great guys to pick from.
There's so many because it can be anyone, and it's just like because it could be a pitcher.
You could pick a guy who's had notable postseason unsuccess to have a finally solid postseason. There's one guy in the Dodgers that's known to have poor postseason numbers that a big postseason will easily net him World Series MVP.
You know what? Let's go with Kyle Tucker though. Kyle Tucker. Yeah. New addition, Kyle Tucker. The reason they win.
I was talking about Ohtani, by the way.
just
Poor
okay. in
playoff
playoffs.
performer.
Yep.
He had a lower batting average than Judge in that World Series.
He also last year, I think he batted like 100 against the Phillies.
Ben has the Braves and the Red Sox in the World Series, where he has Boston beating the Braves in 6 games. Ben doesn't get to pick an MVP. So let's all pick one for him. If the Red Sox win the World Series, I think the MVP is going to be Roman Anthony.
Wilyer Abreu, the man is clearly clutch. We saw it in the WBC.
I'm gonna go with Jaron Duran.
Guy who won't even be on the team.
Is he
They're
on
going
the
to
team?
trade him.
You think? I don't know. I mean, if they're making it all the way to the World Series,
Future Philadelphia Philly right there, Jaron Duran.
I mean, if they're doing that well, I don't know if they're gonna trade.
They might. Dylan, your 2024 rematch, does it still
Yes.
break our hearts?
We're Yankees fans. Of course it does. I have the Dodgers beating us in 6 games. I do think we get one more because I think the team actually is a little bit more cohesive and the pitching staff is definitely better. But at the end of the day, we lost Juan Soto. They gained Kyle Tucker. It's just not enough, like, for me to pick us. I'll be rooting for us. I'm sure when the moment comes, I'll be delusional enough to pick us. But all the way out here in March, I will pick the Dodgers.
When we revisit the predictions when it comes to World Series and Yankees are there, you're going to be like, yep, Yankees. I'm switching to the Yankees.
Oh, guaranteed.
Is it going to be 6 like last time around was pretty much almost 6 without that Game 5 fall apart?
I think it'll be six like real games. I don't
Like
think it'll be
6?
Yeah, respectable 6.
Like they win 2, then we win the first one, or maybe we go 2-2,
something like that.
2,
something like that.
Where like it's not Game 3 or.
I'll tell you what though, I know which games they do win. 1 in 5, because my World Series MVP, back-to-back years. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. You thought you were going to get the last laugh on being the biggest fan of Yamamoto. Nope. World Series MVP again.
Yeah, but you didn't have him to win the Cy Young, so how big of a Yama guy can you be?
Because the Dodgers take the regular season off. Yamamoto's the same deal. He's like, I don't need to try for this award. You know what? I'll try for my award.
So they're going to end up naming the National League World Series MVP after Yamamoto.
I mean, maybe we'll see how many more they keep winning.
I got the Mets and Mariners in the World Series. Very exciting matchup. This World Series ends in 5, where the Mariners hoist the Commissioner's Trophy. Mariners over Mets in 5. J-Rod, World Series MVP. J-Rod's the guy who's going to get top 3 MVP votes, if I'm going to add that in there.
It's on my fantasy team. Wouldn't hate it.
Any final thoughts on the World Series predictions for any one of us?
I can't believe you picked the Mets this year and it wasn't Ben.
Man, you let the Yankees get Steven Kwan, and I'm all the way in.
Yeah, no. If the Yankees get Kwan, you might have me singing a different tune about the Yankees. Finally having a leadoff hitter that isn't Trent Grisham.
I might be all the way in. I mean,
no,
we'll see we gotta see what Cole looks like. If Cole looks like Cole,
throwing Cade Smith.
Well,
I mean that's been my thing is Kwan and Cade together.
Yes, that would be the idea.
Clint Frazier and Miguel Andujar.
No, yeah, I think the World Series, despite what everybody wants to say about the Dodgers, is still pretty unpredictable. I think me and John did pick them to win the World Series, but 2 people on the podcast didn't even pick them to make it. So as powerful as the Dodgers are on paper, baseball is baseball. Got to play 162. You get hot at the right time. That's why we love it.
The Dodgers almost lost last year. And to be honest, a couple different decisions in 2024, the Dodgers also might not have won that World Series.
So the Dodgers won. What was the COVID World Series? 2021?
2020 versus the Rays. I actually went to one of the games there. Tony Gonsolin pitched.
So I guess, I mean, if the Dodgers three-peat and the roster that they have, next year we'll have to – the following year we'd have to start talking 2020s Dodgers or 90s Yankees?
I mean, that's an easy.
We're gonna be in that world.
It's going to be annoying. But again, you had the Dodgers on the ropes in Game 7 versus Toronto in 25.
Yep.
That could have very easily been a Blue Jays World Series win in Game 6 or Game 7.
Could have been.
Could have.
But
Well,
it
that's
wasn't.
24. Tim Hill comes in instead of Nestor. That shifts the whole dynamic. The Dodgers
I'm just
didn't
saying,
run away.
if we went revisionist history on some of those Yankees World Series,
I don't know. When they swept the Padres in '99, I don't think you can revision.
okay, well, if the Dodgers come and start pulling the brooms out on somebody,
which they did.
I'm just saying, you also just talked about a 5-game set that could have been gone the other way if one play had happened. So.
Right. I'm just saying, like, when the Dodgers are this great paper, monster, but when we get on the field, they bleed.
Listen, I know who I'd pick as well. I'm just saying the conversation might be around the corner.
Right. Well, just even now, like, not even picking the Dodgers to go to the World Series, like, they're not unbeatable. Like, almost any team I have in the playoffs, I think could beat them in a 7-game series.
I don't.
You don't
Not
think
with their pitching. If their whole team is healthy,
I said almost every team.
I think the only AL teams today that stand a chance are the Yankees and the Mariners.
and that's like full healthy, right? Like full.
Yeah,
Like
I think the Red Sox with their pitching.
I just don't think because the Dodgers with their pitching is still really I'm like the Dodgers are fully healthy. They got Snell, they got Glass now, they got Ohtani, they got Yamamoto. Like
they have enough pitchers where they can use starting pitchers.
I would say those teams,
healthy.
and then I would say the Mets, and oddly enough, the Phillies. Even though I didn't predict them to go far, I think at their best they could beat the Dodgers.
What about the Braves, though? I feel like the Braves are just a weird team to predict right now because of how off of a year they had last year.
Especially now since Strider's going to start the season on the IL.
And he's kind of sucked the last 2 years, if we're just being honest here. Like,
I mean, they lost their workhorse and Fried.
Yeah, Sale is obviously nice. I don't think the Braves have enough juice pitching to beat the Dodgers, honestly. I barely think the Mets have enough juice. It's just the bats are just so insane, dude. Like if you can get Luis Robert back to where he was a couple of years ago, on top of Soto, Lindor, like it's just.
Well, let's say the Mets do knock off the Dodgers. Now, are the Mets an easier face for more teams in the World Series?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
because hitting can go cold. And their pitching isn't as good as the Dodgers.
So if you're the American League, you're kind of hoping to face
anybody but the Dodgers. Right, if I'm the American League, I'm hoping to face anybody but the Dodgers.
Which is kind of funny because 2024, I was kind of hoping to face the Dodgers because I didn't want to face the OMG Mets.
Yeah, you were the only one who was hoping for that.
They terrified me. They had friendship on their side. Like,
yeah, well, the Dodgers have all-star team roster on their side.
Any final thoughts when it comes to the awards or anything coming into? We have opening day. Like, it's here.
If me and John are correct, lockout on the way.
I mean, it is 100% happening. We will not be getting an on-time opening day next year.
I mean, I think if the Mariners win the World Series or Boston, I think that it creates a way better case for teams to be like, quit your whining. But I think if the Dodgers three-peat, it's 110% lockout guaranteed. So from that aspect, I hope we're wrong.
Yeah, I think having a Rangers Diamondbacks type World Series is what's best for baseball right now.
Yeah, if you had if the Reds end up going to the World Series and
if we get Reds Yankees, like two grinded out teams.
Hunter Green wins his Cy Young.
Like if we just get Reds Yankees, like some grinded out teams that are family owned, like you know what I mean, low budget.
Now, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, right? In football. What would the baseball equivalent be this year?
Let's see. People weren't necessarily predicting Seattle to definitively make the playoffs, but some people thought that they could get in.
I have kind of a pick.
I do as well. I won't change it.
All right. I think that the equivalent would be the San Francisco Giants.
Ooh, I had the Royals.
I think both of those are kind of in the same type of boat.
Like a team that's kind of fringe playoffs,
Success about a
but could
decade ago.
surprise. Yeah.
Fringe playoff.
What do you agree with more, John?
I honestly I like the Royals because I feel like I am high on the I'm high on the Royals too this year. I feel like the Royals I'd agree with. I feel like for some reason I feel like the Brewers maybe just because like they've been like they're good, you know, and they're always hanging around there. So it's like you can't really say like they're still possibly like a fringe playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I can definitely see, especially, I mean, they're missing Peralta this year, but I mean,
they got Mizorowski.
Yeah.
Absolute dog.
So.
All right. That's going to do it for us then.
Next time we got real baseball. Real baseball.
Yeah. Studs and Duds, weekly series highlight. It's all coming back. Going to be back in the full swing of things. For John, Pauline, Dylan, Mel, Corey, Jason, this has been the Outsider Sports Baseball Podcast. See you next week for the first full week of baseball.